Why is no one talking about what I think is the best, and I mean the absolute best, EFS lens on the Canon R50? This is the 15 to 85mm EFS lens, and of course you need the adapter to put this onto your Canon R50. This is already an APS-C sensor type lens, and this lens cost $1,400 brand new when the 7D was released. But I was lucky enough to pick this lens up for around $300. Let's see how this lens performs. We'll put it through its paces. I'll bring you along for the ride. So we're here at Mount St Leonard, and I've got the Canon EFS 15 to 85. It's an image stabilized lens with the ultrasonic motor. It's been really surprising to use. This lens was originally released back in 2009, so it is quite old. Being an EFS lens, it is made for crop sensor cameras, and the R50 being a crop sensor camera, it just makes sense. When new, this lens was $1,400, and I picked up this copy secondhand for around $250. Let's see what we can get out of this lens. This lens has autofocus, manual focus, and image stabilization built into the lens. So why is no one talking about this amazing lens from Canon, the EFS 15 to 85mm lens? Let's have a look at the Canon EFS 15 to 85mm f3.5 to 5.6 image stabilized USM lens. That has the ultrasonic motors, so the focus is going to be quick and sharp. Now, I keep a lookout online for second-hand lenses, and when I spied the EFS 15 to 85, my interest was piqued. And I must admit, I am really pleased I picked this lens up. Luckily, I picked this up and it is like in new condition for around $300. And oh my God, does this lens not disappoint? It has plenty of reach, is image stabilized, and it's just amazing on the R50. We're at Walla Nature Walk. This is a beautiful little rainforest gully. I'm surprised I've never been here before, but I'm glad that I've come. It's a fantastic boardwalk, so there's no tripping hazards on this whatsoever. It's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the light coming through the trees into this gully, it's just absolutely magical. Beautiful. Definitely come here and have a look. And the best part is, this is already optimized for APS-C sensor cameras, and the Canon R50 is that camera. Originally released back in September 2009, this is an old lens, so it does have older technology, but it seems to work really well on my Canon R50. At the time, it was a great companion on the Canon 7D, and this lens originally sold for around $1,400. It's hefty, it does have weight, but it is balanced well with the Canon R50. And even though this lens has an autofocus and manual focus switch, you can still manually focus this lens even when it is in autofocus mode. This lens is called a pumper lens, which means the front element does pump out and back in. One other thing to note is it does tend to drop down all by itself when you get to around the 50mm mark. Really, just leave both of these switches on. That's autofocus and image stabilization. Why would you turn off image stabilization on this lens? Well, the only time you would do it is if you were putting your camera onto a really stabilized tripod. And I mean really stable. Otherwise, just leave the image stabilization on. It doesn't affect your photos and it doesn't affect your videos. Let's move from the front of the lens right through to the back of the lens. From the front here, we have our 72mm filter thread. Then we have this really big tactile zoom ring. You're not going to miss that. But next to that, we have this little tiny focus ring. And one thing that I do find is sometimes I will be using the focus ring and I do accidentally bump the zoom ring. So it is something to be aware of. It's not a deal breaker, but I think you should know about this one. And of course, on the back of the lens, we have a full metal mount. It is quality. This is a hefty lens, as I have said before. We also have our two switches here, one for autofocus and the other for image stabilization. And of course, when you're putting this lens onto your Canon R50, you will need a adapter ring. And then that way, we can have the pins from the EFS lens talk to the pins on the RF mount. The 7-blade diaphragm produces lovely bokeh, and you can get great background separation with this lens. Now, I did say that this is a hefty lens. It weighs 570 grams, so add that to your 370 gram Canon R50 and you're almost holding a kilo of weight here. It is a lot heavier than the standard RFS lenses that you do find on the Canon R50. So just be aware of that. So if weight is an issue for you, you might want to consider other options. This lens had so many great reviews online, I thought, why not give it a go? And I'm really glad that I did. And I think you should too. But remember, you do need the Canon adapter or a suitable adapter to take EF or EFS lenses and adapt that to the Canon RF mount. So why is no one talking about this lens? It is great value, great bang for your buck at around $300 second hand, and it is already an APS-C or crop sensor camera lens suited to the R50. I highly recommend that you go and grab one of these. I really enjoy playing around with different lenses and different configurations on my Canon R50. Any links that I do provide down below are affiliate links and they really help the channel. There's no additional cost to you, but they do help me with a little compensation. I really enjoy making these videos for you. If you've got any questions, pop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll put a link to the video for the small rig cage you may have seen me holding on my Canon R50.